Is it not recording?
Well, I was recording.
Okay, leave that there. It's just YouTube. Why is that blanked out, mate? United Kingdom.
Oh, connected to Paul's MacBook Air.
So, testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Why is it being a naughty sausage today?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is that streaming? Yeah, that is streaming. So just bear with us if you're on YouTube Live. We're doing our weekly podcast as always. We're just setting up some bits and pieces. We'll be going live in about 30 seconds. So, good morning and welcome to the Normal 65 Medical podcast. Today we're looking into blood types and we're going to dive deep into the science of blood types and their impact on our health and lifestyle. As always, I'm your host Paul, and today Sam is joining me to look at the intriguing concept of the blood type diet. Sam is an expert in nutrition and blood type research. So welcome, Sam. How are you?
Good, not bad, thank you. I'm very excited to be here and to delve into this fascinating topic with you.
Yeah, in this episode, we're going to cover the history of the blood type diet, which I know is a book that you've read,
Yeah.
how it works in connection to cancer, exercise, recommendations to the impact of the blood type diets on medication and vitamins, so how that works. And also what vitamins may suit each blood group, which is an interesting one. So let's get started. In this segment, I really want to touch on the history of the blood type diet. Sam, can you start us off with a bit of history? How did the blood type diet come about?
So it's really interesting, actually. I've just had to get up his name. It's Dr. Peter J. Diamo. He's written a book on blood type diets, and it's actually his dad who actually started the research way before him. And it's actually come about just through them two of doing different research with inflammatory responders, cancers, and just literally being very holistic in their approach and just looking at the different types. They found it's a fundamental key factor of what's happened here. So this diet suggests that our blood type can influence our digestion, energy levels, and disease and resistance.
Fascinating stuff. It's amazing how personalised nutrition can get. So in this segment, let's have a look at how the blood type diet works. So Sam, how exactly does the blood type diet work?
So the diet is based on the idea that each blood type, A, O, B, and AB, has unique characteristics that affect how we process food. For example, people with type O blood are said to thrive on high protein diets, rich and lean meats, fish, and type A individuals might be better with a vegetarian diet, focusing on fruits and vegetables. And also things like whole grains and that. Type B is considered to have a more balanced diet that includes meats, dairy, grains, whilst type AB combines the aspects of type A and B, benefiting from seafoods, tofu, and even dairy.
My God, that's really interesting. It seems like a very tailored approach to eating rather than shoving anything down our throats.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So let's delve into a bit about blood groups and cancer. So let's move on to the connection between blood groups and cancer. What does the research suggest, Sam?
So it can, there is research that has shown associations between blood types and cancer for the risks. For instance, certain studies have suggested that individuals with type A blood may have a slightly higher risk of certain cancers, such as stomach cancer, as one. The theory is that blood antigens might affect our immune response to cancerous growths. The blood type diet proposes that by eating foods compatible with your blood type, you may and can potentially lower your risks through more, though the researchers need to be more confirm these claims, but there is a high correlation.
And I suppose that research is going on.
Oh yeah.
So it's certainly an area that requires more exploration, and it's good to be aware of these possibilities, especially for me. I mean, I'm a cancer sufferer. So let's have a now look at the third section, or fourth section, which is blood types and exercise. Now, I'm looking forward to this one, Sam. So, Sam, can you talk to us about how the different blood types might respond to exercise?
Absolutely, Paul. So the blood type diet also extends to exercise recommendations. So type O individuals might benefit from intense physical activities such as running, weight training, high intensity, as it aligns with their suggested high protein diet. Whereas type A people, on the other scale, encouraged to engage with more calmer exercise such as yoga and tai chi, which complement their more plant-based diet. Type B can enjoy moderate exercises such as hiking and cycling, whilst type AB might find a combination of calming and moderate exercises as they find more beneficial.
Honestly, that blows my mind. So all these people in the class doing all these different exercises. I mean, they really should get an exercise prescription that can be personalised in their way rather than doing it. I mean, that's it. That's a really interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, we both come from a gym background. And,
Yeah.
obviously, I used to run classes of both calming, like Pilates and yoga and stuff, as well as HIIT. So what you're suggesting there is that not everyone should be in that class.
No, probably not. That's the thing. You find that within this book that I've read, and there's lots of people sort of written in to give him their reviews of it, and they've said, they're very avid runners, but they've now found out they're type A's and things like this. So they shouldn't be running, but not necessarily just completely cut it out, but at least incorporate into their
How interesting is
weekly
that?
routine.
So if you're type A out there, there's a good excuse not to run.
Yeah, exactly. Just to calm and stuff.
I wonder if we can actually change our type group, our blood type group, so that I don't have to run.
Yeah, you have to run. Yeah, so you're type.
So let's, yeah, I'm type O. So what should I be doing?
Your type is known as the hunter. So the hunter likes to do high intensity and things like that. And I understand that type A is to do with because they're quite prone to stress, type
Yeah.
A. So I understand that one. I've only obviously read this book a couple of times and gone through it, so I sort of pick up more on other bits. But because I know Paul's got his problems and he's checked his blood type, I was quite homed in on a type O with it. But it is interesting to see how, because of a high protein diet, it will impact your energy levels so much more.
So I should be running. It's interesting. Well,
Not necessarily
I
right.
did.
You
I
could be
did.
doing something high
I
intensity.
did. So short
Short
aspects.
bursts, yeah.
So let's have a look now how blood types can affect on medication. Again, I'm really looking forward to this. So what should our listeners know, Sam, about medication?
Good question. So there's a growing interest in how blood types can affect medication efficiency. So for example, blood type can influence how fast or slow you metabolize certain drugs. Personalised medicine takes these variations into account, aiming to tailor treatments to individual needs. Whilst the blood type diet doesn't provide detailed medication plans, it does encourage the awareness between these differences.
Wow, that's really exciting.
It's very holistic.
So another frontier in medicine, which will be personalisation, seems to be the key. Okay, now obviously I'm quite interested in this as well. So vitamins and supplements for blood types. So the whole world is putting vitamins in there now. So finally, Sam, what vitamins and supplements should people consider based on their blood type?
So each blood type might benefit from different specific nutrients. So, for example, type O, calcium and vitamin D are recommended to support bone health. Type A might be more beneficial to vitamin C and E to boost their immunity. Type B individuals could consider magnesium and fish oils to support the heart health, whilst type A and B might find folic acid beneficial. These supplements aim to address potential deficiencies and enhance overall well-being, because if type A, for example, doesn't doesn't have the ability to have much meat, they might need more supplements in that region.
Wow, Sam, that's incredible. What useful information. So let's wrap up this part of the podcast, and look at how the history and how it works to implications of cancer, exercise, medication, supplements. So thanks, Sam. Sam, thank you for sharing your expertise with us
Oh,
today.
pleasure.
And I know we're going to go live in a bit. So yeah, thanks, Sam.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
I hope the listeners have found this interesting. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, you're not going to hear or see any changes. If you're watching us live on YouTube, then there's going to be a little bit of a pause while we get ourselves onto TikTok, and then we'll be back with questions and answers on TikTok about this group. So we're gonna, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're gonna sort of repeat some of what Sam has spoken about already, but it's worth listening to again. I think reinforce it.
There's a lot to take in.
Yeah, there is a huge amount to take in. I can't believe how much there is to actually physically take in. To be honest. Amazing. Right. So, if you're watching us on YouTube, just bear with me while I get us logged on to TikTok. And then just explain, Sam, how it'll work on YouTube. Yeah. So, obviously, with the questions and answers.
So we've got a TikTok channel. What one we're doing it under?
65 Beauty.
65 Beauty is the one we've got under underscore, and we'll be live on there, and people bring up questions for us of the topics, and they can ask us anything they like. Hopefully no trollers. They don't usually get up this time in the morning. It's usually about 12 o'clock they get up. But yeah, we answer any questions that we can. If we don't know the answer, we'll tell you we don't know the answer. But we do fairly get some interesting questions and interesting people with different aspects of illnesses and ailments that they'd like to have answered and that. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll go over. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to go over some of the things that we've already gone over. So
It can get a little bit repetitive
bear
when people
with us.
split in and then start asking questions of what we're talking about,
Yeah,
etc. So
absolutely. And
bear with
on the
us.
subject of questions, if you've got any questions from the from the YouTube channel, then please drop us a message, and we will gladly answer them. Okay.
Let's chill out.
So we're just going live on TikTok. It will take a couple of minutes for people to join us, and then once they join us, we'll start talking again. Let's just move this
Yeah, if you
across.
want to flit on to TikTok, you can do. As I said, it's
Yeah, good
at
idea. Good idea.
65 Beauty underscore that you can follow us on, and we're also on Instagram as well and Facebook. But yeah,
So yeah, YouTube's quite new to us. We've
yeah.
only just really started this channel, so we're still learning some of the things. Right, we are back. So
Hello.
right, we are back. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, then we have just had a break while we set TikTok up. If you're on YouTube, then obviously you've seen that break anyway. Welcome to all of our TikTok followers. It's great to see you. Good morning, Talia. So we have a bit of a treat for you today. So Sam and I are both nutritionists, and Sam has been reading a book, which we're going to explain in a second, which talks about blood group and diet.
Yeah.
Now, this goes nicely with obviously the Ozempic book that we're just about to launch, and what the concept of this book is all about is that the type of blood type you are affects the diet you should be on.
Diet, exercise, supplements you take, the lot affects
Everything.
everything. It's a
And
fundamental factor.
we're going to be launching a brand new service where we will work with you on your nutrition, whether you're on the pen or off the pen or not ever going to take the pen. The process is going to be real simple. We'll send you out a pack. You'll take your blood, so a little prick on the finger. That will give us your blood type. If you're in London, then we'll actually do a blood test in clinic, which is obviously a bit easier for us. And then when we get your results, Sam and I and Umesh will give you a one-to-one consultation and we will write your diet plan. And that's what I'm really excited about. So,
Steve Barbie, you got a consultation?
yes, looking forward to seeing you at 3 o'clock, Barbie. I think her name's Siobhan, I think.
Okay.
I think. So, if you've been on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, sorry about the break. If you've just joined us on TikTok, we're going to talk about what we just. Yeah, Siobhan, I told you that, right?
It's very good.
So, if you just joined us on TikTok, we're going to go back over what we discussed on the podcast. If you don't subscribe to our podcast, you might as well do that. It's on Spotify. If you search for 65 Medical, then it's there. So, Sam, talk to us about blood type diet.
Yes, so I can never remember his name, so I just have to get up on my phone. So the main doctor that has discovered this and he's done tons of research, him and his dad actually did all the research. His name is Dr. Peter J. D. Adamo. Very clever man. Has had loads and loads of patients through consultations, and you can find him on Google, etc. But basically, he's found the missing fundamental factor is our blood types of how we process foods, how our stress levels work, how we react to exercise. Some foods are more, I won't say poisonous, but certainly have no beneficial factors as to why we're eating them, as to, are quite bad for us. So, for example, I think pork isn't good for anyone, just to the amount of, I think it's the fats and that are in it. It's not.
Yeah, and of course I've heard about pork and cancer, which we'll come on to in a minute. So if you've just joined us on TikTok, we're live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and we're recording this for our Spotify podcast. So what we're suggesting now is we have a new service where you can either have this pack sent to you where you find your blood group, or you can come into clinic and we'll take your blood, and then Sam and I will write you a personalised nutrition plan based on your blood group. So let's now dig in a bit deeper and explain what that means. So talk me through, an O, because I'm O.
You're right.
I'm so still am.
You're O as well. So O is the hunter. So you are basically on a very high protein diet. Your exercise should consist of quite a lot of high intensity exercises, so things like running, anything where it's quite fast paced, high strength training sort of thing can work really well for you. I can't remember off the top of my head what foods are the poisonous ones for use, for example, but I know.
Have a look, and I'll keep talking. So she's got a list of it all. One of the things that. No, we're not going to give too much information, otherwise we're also going to buy, but we'll give you some examples. What I discovered about my particular group as an O is that I should be doing HIIT. So, I mean, that for me is like, oh, I don't even like it. But that sums it up, because the other thing that I should be eating is fish, and I really hate fish, which is the protein again.
Foods to avoid things like dairy, grains, because you are more meat based, beans and legumes, cabbage can risk the thyroid problems apparently. Coconut, cantaloupes, oranges and strawberries, they should be avoided.
All interesting.
I mean, it goes right down to things like condiments that you should eat and drink. It goes down to teas and coffees and things like that as well.
So let's talk about the plan that
beverages should be avoided, like beer.
Don't tell me tea.
Yeah, milk tea, coffee, beer.
Have a cup of tea.
Do you just change what tea you have? So it might be that you might be better with a fruit tea.
I don't want to. I like this tea. If you've got any questions for us on TikTok, then please start sending them. If you
Imagine being a vegetarian, finding out
so
you're 12.
so talk me through the exercise then. So one of the things that we touched on was that if you are an A, you're going to love this one. If you're group A in blood, you shouldn't be running.
No, no, you shouldn't be running. You're more beneficial for yoga and Tai Chi because type A's have very high stress levels and are very prone to more heart problems and things like that. So you start doing very high intensity exercises, you're causing more detriment to yourself than it's worth. So you want to bring down your energy levels to a lower pace, which
So, out of the hundreds of people that are watching us, or the thousands on YouTube, how many of you are running right now? So, how many of you have had a run this morning or are going to have a run this morning? Oh, Jolanda's going to put a uniform on live and in front of us.
is it
Dun,
that
dun, dun, dun,
is
dun.
it that wet outside or have you washed your hair?
So, uh, you're an you're a negative, are you, Kat? What A negative? I'm A
A
negative. So,
negative.
do you run, Kat? So,
They've not said where they've said not that the positives and negatives aren't too. There's not much. Oh, she does run.
you
Um,
do run. Oh
there
dear,
isn't as
Kat.
much of a big issue or big.
Differences.
No, yeah, there's not much. So no run, no running, cat. Stop running.
Kat, you've just found the
Do a
perfect
sun
reason.
salutation instead.
You've just found the perfect reason why you shouldn't be running. But this is really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the book goes on to talk about that if you shouldn't be running because you're an A like Kat is, you're going to be prone to injuries and stuff like that because your body's
I
going to.
think it puts more risk on your heart and stuff because they're more prone to heart problems. I think that's why they tell you to strip back to a vegetarian diet and they do things
Well,
like
A's got to be vegetarian.
yeah, A's are more vegetarian based.
Kat,
They're plant
do
based.
you eat meat? So we just if you're on YouTube here, we're just communicating with someone from TikTok who has just told us that she's A group. She runs. We're just finding out she eats meat because she shouldn't be eating meat. Now this happened to me. So when I got tested,
I love meat.
oh, there you go. Now, Kat, I don't know if you want to share this with us, but are you overweight? Let's see what comes back. Or how do you feel about do you feel lethargic? I mean, the other thing that could happen, I suppose, if you're eating the wrong foods is you'll feel tired, especially after a meal, because your body's going to be processing it.
Do type O's suffer from anxiety? I'm an O and suffered all my life. I think any blood type can suffer from anything. It just depends on if you start what this book has proved and what this diet has seemed to have proved. And there's loads and loads of testimonials in the back, and I think he's got a whole blog and everything. This doctor, but what is actually proved is when you go on these diets and you follow these diets quite strictly and you follow the exercise, a lot of your ailments and problems go away.
Yeah.
Whether it's skin problems, heart problems, digestive problems, anxiety problems. Like for example, Jack and Poppy, I'm not sure which one it is writing, but do you do you run? Do you do any high intensity? Because it might be that your anxiety isn't getting fulfilled or it's not quite like dispersing because you're not doing the right exercise levels, or it could be that you drink. It says that you shouldn't have tea and coffee. Do you have a lot of caffeine in your diet? Things like this. It's just little tiny tweaks that can really make a big difference to your blood type. But
And
yeah,
this is why I'm so excited about what we're launching. So with this service, okay, look, it's 400 quid. I know that's a lot of money for some people, but you will get a personalised diary of what to do, what not to do, what to avoid, what to include, how to. Now, the other thing that I'm really excited about is the vitamins and minerals. So again, I'll throw a question out to TikTok. Look at me asking them questions. How many? It's not the other way around. How many of you are shoving vitamins down your throat this morning? Because, of course, with this science, it's now proven that some blood groups need certain vitamins, other blood groups don't.
yeah,
So, for example, I think my one, I need calcium, and what was the other one?
well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, bio, is
it
it
was something else, wasn't it? Oh, vitamin D.
E?
Right, now get this, right? So, I got diagnosed by a blood test that I had recently because of my prostate cancer, and I'm low on, guess what? Calcium and vitamin D. There you go. Now, this is the God's honest truth. You know, we don't lie in these podcasts. You know, we don't. These podcasts aren't about us trying to sell our services because, in certain ways, you could buy the book yourself get your blood group and do it yourself. But I think the difference between what we're suggesting is that we're both nutritionists, so we'll be able to do it much easier for you. What other things are the benefits of us doing it rather than just buying the book?
Well, there's a lot of information to take in with the book, and it's also taken out. So there are also, I bought the book that's got everything in it. There are books that you can just buy for type O and type A. So there are ones that you can get. Now it depends if you are a book reader for a start. People just don't want that. They'd rather be told rather than
Yeah,
go and do the
yeah,
research
yeah. I'm like
themselves.
that. I'm like that.
Also, it can help with things like, so we've got there. I've just been reading the comments. Kat is she is and she's menopause 49. So there's quite a lot of anomalies there. You might need some extra supplements. What the book might
And of course,
be
and
suggesting.
if we did a consultation with Kat, then you'd be covering all that through.
Yeah, we'll be going
But the
through them.
point is, let's say for example, Kat would normally have a set of medicines or set of vitamins or minerals for menopause. We may not even suggest that because it doesn't suit her, and we would use food as a way of getting those vitamins and minerals in.
Yeah.
The book Jack and Poppy is the blood group diet. So we're not hiding the fact. This is not our invention, but what we're offering is we're offering the service where rather than trying to work it out yourself, you get us as a coach. You can talk to us weekly. We'll work with you over a 6 week period. The whole thing is just 300 quid. It's not dear.
Right for your blood type.
Yeah,
That's the book.
it's not dear. It's not dear. So for 300 quid, you'll get an initial consultation with us, and then ongoing support. We've done a couple in trial. Tell me about how it went on. What went on when you did the trials with the people that we did?
Well, we have done very well with the trials. They usually, I think there's one you can do if you've got to be very strict for 10 days, and it will start showing that your symptoms diminish on different particular problems and supplements. So I think we did one for fibromyalgia. There was another one who had heart problems.
You obviously done me with
Done you.
my O group, which was really interesting.
I mean, some obviously you haven't got to. For example, who was it? Cat. I love meat. Just because you know if you go out for a meal, you might want to fall off your diet, your strict diet, and go and have a nice steak. But then what you might then realise is you start to notice that certain symptoms might come back, or you might feel pretty crap about yourself, or
Well, that's why I like this service. So when you sat with me, obviously I like meat, and I should have more fish. So what Sam did, although I'm a nutritionist, I could do it myself. It was far easier for Sam to do it, and I shall do Sam's.
you have that accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability. It's a bit like the training. I have a personal trainer, but I'm a qualified strength and conditioning coach. I was a coach at West Ham, but it's having that person in my ear going, no, lift a bit more. So what Sam did for me was where I love meat, but I really shouldn't have meat and I should have more fish. And I really hate fish. She came up with some ideas and suggestions. So the personalised exercise plan and food plan that I got from Sam was good for my life rather than me trying to work it out, is really what I'm trying to say.
Oren said, "What about the RH negative?" Now that does ring a bell, but I'll be completely honest, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah, there is a.
Really rings a
It is
bell.
covered. No, it's covered
It
in
is
the book.
covered,
It's
yeah.
covered in the
RH
book, and it's
negative.
covered in the plans that we do. It's just so much that it's very difficult for us to sit here and spell it off our top of our head. It's
Yeah,
physically impossible. But RH negative, definitely there are
is
some.
in there. There is some stuff in there.
Do you want to have a quick look while I'm talking?
I haven't got the book on me, have I? I've only just got Google.
No, we'll have a look. So if you just joined us, we're talking about the blood type diet and where we can help you with this. The book is called The Blood Type Diet,
Right for your blood type.
Oben, and you can buy it from any good bookshops. As again, we're not hiding the book from you. We're not suggesting that you can do it alone with the book, but what we're suggesting is that actually you can use us as your nutritionist and we will set and work with you a plan. We'll work through an exercise plan with you. We're both strength and conditioning coaches, so we can work out a plan, and then we can give you that unique diet. So when we give them the diet, do you give them a month's worth of diet, or what's the options?
So the option is you can do a very strict 10 days to see how your body reacts to it, and generally, as long as you stay very strict to it in 10 days, you generally do. Or if you want to do like a month's worth, but the best way people are doing it is you need to take all the food out of your house that's not good for you and fill it with food that is good for you. If you don't do that, you will reach for the chocolate bar that's in the fridge and all that, and you won't really see the proper benefits until you do that. So I have had a few people go, oh, well, it didn't really work. And when we've gone through why it didn't work, is because their house is still stocked with things that other people have got. But then the other, the, the argument they have with me is, oh, but my partner likes to eat that. Either you get them on a blood type diet as well, because there's a lot of things. If you're, say, I was living with Paul and I was A and Paul was O, and we're completely different. So he's a carnivore, I'm the herbivore. There are still a lot of neutral ground what you can have with each other.
Right.
It might be that you have a stir fry, I put tofu in, and you put meat in.
Yeah.
It's just the end bit. It might be just one component that we need to change. So there are things that you can do if you want to do it with your family. If they don't want to do it, it's just you doing it. You just have to be very, very strong.
Yeah, and I think that's right. And actually, going back to that example you gave of us if we live together, that's no different to what a restaurant would do. So a restaurant would have stir fry on the menu, and it would have chicken, prawn, and vegetarian versions, and they just stick that in the end. So I think it's not particularly difficult. What I like about our services as well is if you are in our catchment area, so we look after Brentwood, so a surrounding area, Brentwood, and obviously West London, then one of us will come to your house and literally empty your cupboards for you, which I think is quite good. Jolanda is particularly good
I've
at
done that.
Jolanda's particularly good at that
So
because
good. If I found Coke there, especially zero, it's mine.
She just slaps it up the bag and takes it out and went, all right, thank you.
we will throw it away. Now, on that subject, I think we can also stretch that out to other things, can't we? So let's assume that you want to give it drinking. Then that's what you should be doing as well, isn't it? Taking all drink out
Well,
of it.
I don't think there's any out. Well, it might be wine that's okay.
No, not for this diet. I'm sort of just generally,
Oh, yeah.
just generally.
If you want to start a diet, you start the diet by stripping out the cupboards and taking out what you need. But the good thing about the diet is once you find out your blood type, there is a whole list of foods. There's foods which are extra beneficial for you, which you should have at least one a day or one in each meal. And then there's a load of foods which are neither good or bad for you. And there is hundreds. It goes through nuts and legumes and seeds and condiments and proteins and fats and everything. It just goes through the sodding lot.
Even sauces then. So
Yeah,
even
that's
like
sauces.
maybe you shouldn't have tomato sauce on your food and you
Yeah.
should have brown sauce.
Yeah, it tells you
Vice
exactly
versa.
what ones are not any good for you. And then there's the foods which are basically in a gentle way poisonous for you, for your blood type.
Yeah. Poisonous isn't like not that we're going to die, but poisonous as in
There's no
just
benefits.
no benefits for you.
It's absolutely.
And I like that. So when we've sat down with patients before and told them that actually meat is poisonous, so to speak, i.e. it's no good for them, it it opens up such a world of relief because when it happened to me, I for those first 10 days I went on fish only and I felt brilliant, absolutely
That's
brilliant.
what I mean. It
I
brings up your
hate
energy
fish.
levels and it gets you to sleep better and all these different things. I mean, how many of you have eaten late or eaten chocolate late or something like that and then laid there at night thinking, I can't sleep?
Yeah.
And it is literally due to the fact that you've had caffeine or you've eaten late and your body's trying to digest, but then at the same time you're trying to make your body sleep. And it's really, really difficult.
So Dyer said, what about a AB blood group? So that's covered in our work as well.
AB is one of the main groups. I can't remember if they're called the Enigma or the Chameleon, is how they describe the AB. But yeah, it's a mixture of A and B. So you can do a bit of both, and there are certain foods that are good for you and bad for you and that. But
So she
off
could
the
have
top of my head,
she
I can't remember.
she could have like a vegetarian diet for some of the week and
Yeah,
then a meat diet for
it's
the other part
probably
of the week.
moderate exercise that you're good for, and you could probably go for a run and then do a bit of yoga another day type thing.
Yeah, which is interesting, and I think what I found when I've spoken to patients after they've been through this process, because we did a few on trial before we launched it, is that everything's changed for them. Their gym's changed. They do different classes now because they know that they shouldn't be doing a particular class anymore. And
The main benefits people are finding it are, for example, if someone has like rheumatoid arthritis and they find out they're type A, they shouldn't be eating red meats because it's an inflammatory responder, for example. And they do find that their any symptoms, aches, pains, and things tend to diminish quite a bit. I'm not saying it gets rid of everything, but it certainly helps a lot of problems that people suffer with. People go down to their optimum weight a lot of the time, and also, yeah, people are reporting their energy levels better, their focus is better, and their sleep is better.
so, if you just joined us, what we're talking about here is the blood type diet. So, what we do, if you're local to London or Brentwood, you can come in and you can have a blood test done by one of our nurses. We'll get the result within a couple of hours, and then you sit down with a nutritionist, a strength and conditioning coach, and we plan out a personal diet and a personal strength and conditioning and exercise program. It includes the first 10 days of intensity where food has to be 100% spot on, exercise needs to be 100% spot on. So going back to Kat, who's an A group, you won't be running for those 10 days. If you are
Yeah.
a group,
I mean, it might be that, for example, I know you said, Kat, that you have got menopause and stuff, and another person said they've got fibromyalgia, so running one will be the best thing for a fibromyalgia person to start off with, type thing.
Yeah.
So there are other exercises. We're just giving the top ones that we can think of, which are the best suited for that type. But it might be that you just start off with very moderate things that you do, and then you can build into it once you notice your energy levels are increasing and things like that. So it might just be that you need to start off a little bit more conservative.
yeah. Now, the reason why on YouTube you'll see that there's an Ozempic book there is because obviously there's a new book coming out that we've written. But for the guys that are people on the weight loss, that's really strange. As
Yeah.
I'm saying it, someone's put it on. So
Pretty.
this consultation that we're suggesting works really well with the Ozempic, Wegovy, and Manjaro pen. So you've heard me bang on for a long time about how you shouldn't just take the pen and just do whatever you think is right. You need constant support with it because the weight loss injections have short-term side effects like sickness, diarrhea, unable to sleep, a whole bunch of different things, unable to do exercise because you just haven't got the strength. So if you combine it with this plan, this blood type group, then you have the best chance of losing weight. And we've seen that in the clinical trials that we've done. So we've got people that are taking Ozempic or Wegovy or Manjaro. They're using the blood type diet, using the blood type exercise plan, and have lost 20 kilos in 6 weeks. Well, happy days. So actually, I think by combining the blood type diet and the blood type exercise plan with the skinny pens means that you probably can come off it earlier. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, because they should be at their optimum health, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is if you don't follow that type of diet, then what you're going to do is do what most people do on Ozempic, which is they just don't eat anything and they start then having new bad habits. So, for example, we had one patient that came to us and she's living on lollipops and Coke. I mean, that's just no good.
No nutrition at all.
Yes, that's right, Phil. So, what we're
That's pretty.
sorry, yeah, you're
It does
right.
look like Phil
It
from
does
this
look like
far
Phil.
away
So,
with my glasses.
the Ozempic and Wegovy and Manjaro pens, the only way that you can get it is privately. But what you've heard me talk about over the last 6 to 7 months is that all of our competition, Boots, Superdrug, all these big players, they just give you zero support. So you'll fill a consultation form in, you'll potentially lie on it because there's no accountability. You get the pen and you're left to your own devices. Whereas what we're suggesting is that you get the pen, but you also get this support that we're talking about here. So if you want to go down um, the non-extra payment route, if you like, then part of the Ozempic that we sell, we give you support during the week. Or if you want the ultimate plan, then it would be a Ozempic plus this weight loss plan. And you're going to hear me talk about this throughout the day. So we'll be going live a couple of times, and we'll talk about how Ozempic and this blood type group working together is the ultimate way.
Yeah.
And that'll be the next live probably sometime during the morning. So I think that's about it, unless there's any other questions that we've got on TikTok.
For a second dose. Oh, good. That's nice.
Oh yes, Aisha, yes, I can't wait to see you too. So how did your first dose go? So for those on YouTube and on the podcast, one of our patients is on TikTok and she had her first dose of Ozempic last week, I think it was. So we're just seeing how she's got on with it. So let's just
It's amazing.
So let's just go back over it one more time then. So what we're suggesting here is that you come to clinic, you get a blood test, or if you can't come to clinic, we send
Yeah, fingerprint.
it's like a fingerprint
Yeah, and
test,
it's
is
like
it?
a strip and it gets sent off and it
Strip.
tells you your blood type.
It tells you blood type. And then from that point, you can either come into clinic and have a one-to-one session with me, you, or one of the other nutritionists. And then, pardon?
Oh yeah, little thumbs up above your head.
Who did?
There.
On there.
Yeah.
And then is it really? Sorry, there's something on YouTube going on that I hadn't even noticed. And then we do a personalised diet for you, personalised diet plan and a personalised strength plan.
Yeah.
And if you follow our instructions on Ozempic and the weight, and then you have this plan, it will all come together. So we had another question from Tony. Sorry, not weight loss, but can you have polynucleotides if you have a shellfish allergy? That's a very good question, Tony. And the answer is it depends on what the polynucleotide is.
Tory.
Is it Tory? Do you have a shellfish allergy?
I wasn't aware of that. I've never. Well,
Some of it's got sodium DNA in it.
right, that's why.
Yeah.
Research, yeah.
What was my question? Oh, does she have an allergy?
Yeah,
Okay.
she have an
And
allergy,
what polynucleotides are you thinking about having? So, where was I? Got put off now. Oh yes, we'll talk about what we're doing. So let's combine it now with the weight loss injections. So you come to us, have a consultation for the weight loss injections. So they see Umesh for that, don't they? Which is our pharmacist. So our pharmacist or our nurse practitioner will do a consultation face to face or in. If you're going to combine that with the blood type group, then you have your blood taken at that point, or we send you out the kit, and then you sit down with the nutritionist and you'll get your plan for the first 10 days and then every week thereafter. And of course they can tailor that plan, can't they, in the second month, so they can come back and go, that's not working, or that doesn't fit my lifestyle. So for example,
Don't like that.
Don't like that, yeah, there's no point you are, because that's the other thing that's going to go on, isn't it, that some people may not be able to eat the food because they just don't like it.
Well, there's a lot of Q&A at the back of the book as well, which answers a lot of questions for me as well. So there was one person who said, like, peanuts are very, very good for them, whatever blood type it was, I can't remember, but they had a peanut allergy. So straight away, we went, well, don't eat them, because there's plenty of other things that you can have apart from
And
okay, peanuts are great for you, but you don't have to have peanuts.
And we'll find that for them, won't
Yeah.
we? So so that's why I'm suggesting maybe we shouldn't keep talking about the book, because I think what people are getting confused with is that we're trying to sell this book. We're not trying to sell this book. What we're saying is that the foundations of our new service come from the book,
Yes.
and we've just added to it. So
Fascinating there.
yes, there is, Tony. Can do me a favour, just send me a message and I will answer that properly offline for you. So it's been really interesting this morning, Sam, but we're going to wrap up on our podcast. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, then that's it for this week. Other things that we're going to cover on the podcasts are some osteopath work and stuff, which I'm looking forward to. So we'll be doing that in a minute. We'll probably follow this live on with the osteopath stuff anyway at some stage. So yeah, that'll be really interesting. If you're watching on YouTube, then we're just going to close down our podcast and then we'll be straight back into our next subject, which of course is osteopathy. I can't.
You cannot
say
say it. You've got osteopath, which is the person.
Yeah.
You've got osteopathy, which is the subject. And you've got osteopathic, which will be like osteopathic treatments.
I still don't get it.
3 different terms.
I still don't get it.
Just call me an osteopath.
She's an osteopath. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. I'm really struggling with.
One word you don't get. You could say polynucleotides and hyaluronic acid, but then it comes to osteopathy.
Osteopathy. I really just can't say it. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's obviously something wrong with me. Right, so we're just gonna, if you're watching this on TikTok, we're gonna change the subject. So we're gonna come off this live and come back on live. So if you have anything wrong with you, so if you are got a backache, what sort of things we're going to cover?
Backache, headache, knees, hips.
We're going to cover osteopathy.
Yeah,
that word, and exercise.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. So if you're a gym goer, then you may want to come back on live in a minute because we're going to cover that for sure. If you're watching us on YouTube, just bear with us because we're going to change the subject over. So for the weight loss side, I think we're done. Let's just recap one more time. What we're suggesting is you can come to us. We will take your blood, or we'll send you a sample pack to take your blood at home. We will then write you a completely nutrition-based plan and exercise plan based on your blood group, based on the science that's come from this doctor that's written the book.
Yeah.
If you want to include Ozempic and Wegovy, you can, and then ultimately you'll get this personalised skinny pen system with the food, with the exercise. Does that sum that up quite well? So if you want
Oh, she's saying everyone.
Oh, thanks, Aisha. Yeah, thank you. So if you want to follow us, we'll be back on live in 30 seconds. If you're on YouTube, don't go anywhere. If you're on TikTok, we'll be back in a second. So Sam's just having a water break. I'm going to set up the next live. Hello. Oh, come and sit down. So, for those on YouTube, this is Jolanda. Hello, Jolanda. So, Jolanda's one of our nurses that we love.
I love you too. Everyone who comes here.
Exercise. And so you're not very well, are you?
Yeah, I got a bit cold.
No. So while we're here, we can start just talking a bit about Jolanda. So Jolanda, you're from Albania, aren't you? You're an Albanian nurse. Tell me about how life in Albania is as a nurse. What was the hospitals like and stuff?
Pretty much like here.
They are, yeah.
Just if you need service, I think it's faster than here.
Yeah. Do you pay for your treatments in Albania? Is it like ours?
If you choose to go to a private, yeah, you pay.
But you have national health like we do you?
Yeah.
And is the waiting like us? Because you wait for everyone.
No. If you need the surgery, you get immediately. If you need, now started getting plans and maybe in a month or two, but not like this long as here.
Not like this. So how long have you been over here?
6 years. And it was very nice being here.
Not making it very easy to interview you, Jolanda. She's giving me one-word answers. Sam, you just try and just while I have a wee break. Now you sit there. Sam, you try and interview Jolanda and see if you can get us to talk.
I'm using open questions on closed questions.
She was still able to answer questions now on them.
I got a candy in my
Oh,
mouth. I can't speak it, it does.
Oh. Hi guys. What are we interviewing you about?
Sorry.
Nursing?
Nursing. Paul started interviewing me as an Albanian nurse.
Okay.
Yeah,
And asking me how it looks, the hospitals there. It is pretty much as here.
You've just visited, haven't you? Gone back to Albania, didn't you?
Yeah, I was
What's
for
that?
2 weeks. It was lovely.
What?
Was hot, but start raining after a few days. So
Oh, join a club.
Well, I've called this exercise and avoiding injuries. Shall we? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do the podcast as well? So we could start by reading that podcast off.
Are we still on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, YouTube are with us all day. They're just going to get
Okay,
into
they're
our
just
new
in.
channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if we are, I need another tripod with the.
I have
No, I can stick it on here. I can stick it on here actually.
so what you doing there?
So
But I can fix it.
we're going to talk about osteopathy. Or should we just go
Oh, there
live?
is nothing in here.
Or should we just go live on YouTube, on TikTok?
TikTok.
And then
TikTok
we'll do
works
the
quite well.
podcast
Come.
separately. Okay, come on, shift up.
Shift. Move up, move down, move down.
Right, Jolanda, are you going to come and join us for this?
Look real thick. I'm chilly.
She's got a chilly willy.
Oh.
So if you're watching on YouTube, you've been with us all morning. It's been a pleasure to have you. This is our new channel. We're just learning how to use this channel.
I'm going to snooze in a minute.
You see.
I can see. You can
Yeah. No.
He's not on
see
TikTok.
little piggies.
Huh? We are not in
Oh,
We
you
can
got to get into that screen as well.
go live.
Go live. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right.
See half the face.
Okay, so welcome back to our TikTok viewers. We are talking about the 3 little piggies. There must be a joke about me sitting in between these two.
I think it's hilarious how we're all in the same sodding top.
But it's called a uniform.
I know it's a uniform, but it just looks funny how we're all sitting up next to each other. It's just weird. It's just funny.
Why don't you take your top off so we can all...
No. I'll just put that over.
No, you need to look like you're wearing the uniform. Right, welcome back. Welcome back to our TikTok viewers. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you get to see behind the scenes.
Yeah, it just rolls.
And we've got Jolanda with us. Now, Jolanda's-
She's got up.
she's got up. Jolanda's not normally here before 10 o'clock. So she doesn't get to do these lives with us, which is a shame.
Boy,
Isn't it?
that
All
was
fun.
like.
They are fun.
But I look at them from my home.
Yeah, Jolanda's feeling a little bit ill, so we're going to have to bear with her. Right, so this live today and following through on our live on YouTube is we're talking about how to avoid injuries whilst doing exercise. Sam, who's one of our directors, she is a osteopath, and what we're going to talk about today is how you should build osteopathy. Did I say it right?
Osteopathy.
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 Osteo.
Why you should see an osteo?
Osteo, just like, yeah,
Why
just
you should see an osteopath as part of your exercise plan and routine plan. So before we talk about this, because this is something that we haven't really spoke about much on our channel, is we need to understand where we're coming from. So Sam is a UK registered osteopath, strength and conditioning coach, and a nutritionist. I'm ex-West Ham coach, so I used to look after the footballers and look after them during their injuries, which is why we specialise in the knee, and Jolanda is a nurse. Is a what? She's a nurse.
She's a nurse. She's a lovely nurse.
A very lovely nurse. And between the three of us, we should be able to answer questions Jolanda can come and talk to you about things like vitamins and minerals that you might need during exercise. We've got our first question in. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too, Miss Pearson. We do love you. So let's kick off and talk about the type of injuries that you get from going to the gym.
Culprit number one, deadlifting. I get a lot of people where you can be very good at deadlifting. If you put one imbalance wrong or you pick up a weight just slightly off, you can tweak your back and put yourself out for a long time. Especially when you see people, they think they're conditioned, they go into the gym and they think they have not got to warm up anymore. Or they think walking into the gym's then warm up, and the other one that's the worst one is for the shoulder.
No, let's just stay there with the deadlift. So when you do a deadlift correctly, all of the pressure of the weight should be through your calves, your hamstrings, your bum.
Yeah, you should be squeezing your bum. Your core should be active. Core should be activated so that there's no pressure on your lower back, and then you should be squeezing your bum, and you should have your hamstrings and your calves in contraction, ready for the lift.
So I'll demonstrate how somebody does a deadlift wrong, and then Sam can show us what issues they're going to have. Right.
Yeah.
Let me find something to practice with. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting his bar.
It's an IV drip stand.
Okay. So this is our deadlift bar that we're going to be using, and we're going to imagine that I'm doing it wrong. So the chances are I still bend my knees, so my knees are bent, but look at my back, how my back is all straight. So where am I going to do damage, Sam, if I do it like this?
What, and lift up from here?
And I'm going to lift up from here, and I'm going to come up and lift. So it's all here, isn't it?
Coming from the lower back.
It's all here. Look.
Because as you're this there, and then you're starting to roach your upper back, you're curling it over ever so slightly because you're not pulling up as much, and because of that, this bit, your lumbar region with all the discs, can cause a very big problem.
So what you should be doing is you should have your feet shoulder width apart, the knees should be facing forward, the bum should be out, you should be looking up with your back slightly curved, and then as we pull, you squeeze the bum, up it comes.
Yeah.
And that's our deadlift,
That's
and we're squeezing it through. So let's assume somebody comes to clinic and they've done that deadlift wrong. What sort of pain are they going to feel?
Generally, the first thing they say is I either felt it twing, like there and then. They felt a warm sensation to start with, and then they sort of thought, oh, I'll go home, and then they go to bed. Because they've gone to bed, that's when it tightens and manifests, and then when you wake up, you can't move. But generally, it will be, they might have a bit of sciatica down the leg, depending on what level they've caused it at.
Yeah.
But generally, there'll be a sharp or pain at the lower back.
Now, what's interesting, I know this is completely off topic, but it actually, what Sam's just spoke about is so important. Sausage dogs have a real issue with lower back problems.
Yes.
And what you can find is a sausage dog will be running around the park today, go to bed, wake up and can't walk.
Yeah.
And that's because his discs are infused, because he can't pick up the phone and look for an osteopath.
No, but his parent can.
Yeah, which they don't know, do they?
No.
He won't be displaying any pain.
So not to be running around thinking, I better take it easy because I felt twing then. Like dogs don't. They just run and tear around. They don't think, oh, actually, I might be in a bit of pain tomorrow. Like, dogs live in the moment, so they do that. But because sausage dogs have that longer body, there's no support there for their spine. So as they're running around, that spine just slinks around, and it can cause a lot of problems and sever the spinal cord.
We know, and there's probably a ton of women on here. If you want to jump in on TikTok, then please jump in. There's a ton of women in the gym right now that will be doing deadlifts because they want that good bum. Okay. So apart from doing it correctly, what sort of things could they do with, say, someone like you as an osteopath? What would you? So let's say my main focus was to get a big bum, and I'm doing deadlifts 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm doing it properly. How do you complement that?
So, in order to make sure you don't injure yourself, because osteopathy is it's a better prevention than a cure. You're better off being proactive than reactive. So, if someone come in and said, "Look, I'm doing a lot of conditioning into trying to sculpt my body. Can you do me a treatment plan?" I would look at making sure their lower back is not tight. So I'd strip through the lower back muscles. I'd go through the glute muscles and the hamstring muscles, because the hamstring will pull on that pelvis and pull it down if they shorten. And I'll also make sure there's enough that they've got the right mobility through their spine as well. Not even just the lower back. I'll be working through into their upper back as well to make sure every segment is nice and loose and doesn't have any lock-ins that could then cause a knock-on effect further down into the back.
And how many times a month would you visit? Once a month, maybe?
If you've got no problems and you're just looking to maintain, once a month is absolutely fine. If you're finding you're getting twingy, you might want to do every 2 to 3 weeks. If you've literally done your back in, you'll want to come maybe twice a week consecutively. It depends on how bad it is, depending on what we can do.
So that's just one example of one exercise in the gym. Is it true that if you, let's go back to our girl, so Karen or John or Jean or whatever her name is, she wants to build this big bum. So she comes to you once a month, and you're stretching out the calves and the hamstrings and all the other bits and pieces. Apart from helping her be injury free, it must help her build more muscle, surely, because
Yeah. Because you break down the adhesions of the muscle, you take out any when you see an osteopath, once you work through the muscle, when we say we strip through the muscle, it means that we lengthen the muscle, and also when you train, your muscle fibers tear. And when they tear, you also get carbon dioxide and lactic acid stuck between the muscle fibers, which stop the muscle from having its full capacity of lengthening and shortening. When we strip through the muscle, we give it back that length, and we give it back the whole, we don't have as many adhesions within the muscle anymore. So because of that, she'll be able to train better and get better results quicker.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's just one exercise that we've covered. If you've just joined us, what we're talking about here, the three of us are all either strength and conditioning coaches, nurses, osteopath. We're all nutritionists. So we're talking about how to avoid injuries in the gym and how to build into your exercise program someone like Sam, who's going to help you maintain the body and also, like we've just discovered, maybe even make it better. So we've just covered deadlifts. What's the next one?
The next one I'd say is the other injury is a shoulder one. So the worst, well, the most, not the worst, it's the most prone to an injury will be lateral or forward raises, because you're holding a weight out. So it's that one, or at the side. It's basically what I'm showing. So the reason being is because the weight is furthest away from your body, and your shoulder has got a lot of ligaments and tendons in there, which you have to pull up away from your body. So there's a lot of strain going through that. Whereas if you're doing, say, a bicep curl, it's closer to your body, so there's not as much. It's the same as when you're doing manual handling. If you lift something further away from your body, there's more likely to be an injury. What's that one? I find that holding heavier dumbbells as I get the pain in my glutes. Oh, do you mean like holding them so you traction? So holding them and then it stretches you. That does help. People do it with their lower backs as well, with like medicine balls twisting to get a better twist. So yeah, that does help.
So let's just carry on with this one for a minute. So this is one of my favourite exercises, actually, because what we're doing, we're building the delt here, aren't we, at the back of the shoulder, and we're looking for that dip here. And you're right, most people are going to be holding weight. Now, one of the things that I talk about is how many times do you see these big men and sometimes big women, and they're doing this?
They swing
It's a
their body.
complete waste of time because you're not isolating the muscle that you want. So it's all about pride, isn't it? It's ego. So one of the things that you can do to make sure that you don't injure yourself with these lateral lifts is just have a lower, smaller
Wait.
a weight. And you know what? If I actually tense my muscles up and I lift, I can feel it working the delt.
Yeah.
If Jolanda stand up, and just apply a little bit of pressure downwards. Downwards. No. Put your hand on top of my hand. Now apply pressure. Now there. No, that's too much. So there you go. A little bit. That's it. So
Yeah.
even by doing that, look, I'm not even at the gym, but I'm using my partner to give me the pressure down that I need to force up to work that muscle. But it's easily torn, isn't it?
Yeah, so the shoulder itself, people think it's a ball and socket joint, and it's not. It's more of that's your collarbone, and then that will be your humerus. So it actually sits more like that rather than actually like that, or like that, should I say? Um, it's like there's like a little star shape in there of your ligaments and tendons. There's so many that go around it that actually hold it in place. So it's not as stable as say like the hip joint, which is a proper ball and socket joint like that. It is more sort of like that. So there's much more prone with the shoulder for injury. That's why shoulder tears are so common. Things like frozen shoulders come about more often than they should. Things and tendinopathies and rotator cuff tears, because it has to take the load of what the humerus can't do.
So again, then, if someone's in the gym trying to build the big shoulders and the traps and stuff like that, what sort of things can you do to keep them out of injury?
To keep out of injury, so there's only for me, I would say I would suggest when they're going to the gym, you need to do a good warm up, and start low and then build up. If you're finding you feel any sort of twinge as you lift, stop. Go down to the next weight down because you're aggravating something there. In sessions, I would look to completely articulate that joint. I'd stretch through all of your rotator cuff, which is at the back here, the muscles for your shoulder, and even work into the front here, into the pecs and into your ACJ joint here as well, just to try and loosen off and give you that full mobility and that full stretch that you need.
Because the bottom line is, let's say we do some damage to the shoulder, that's going to impact your life so much.
Absolutely.
You won't even be able to get dressed.
People
Putting a coat on is going to be a painful exercise.
brushing your hair's hard, washing your hair, you'll have trouble getting tops over your head. Women doing bras up is a nightmare. There's so many things I see on a day-to-day basis where people have such problems. I had one lady, we actually could decide how much better her shoulder was depending on where her ponytail was. So it did start there. And then eventually, because she was like that, trying to do her hair up, eventually she got it back here where she could actually stretch her shoulder again.
It's really scary stuff. So one of the messages that the messages we're trying to give you is go lighter and isolate that muscle. When it comes to the biceps, Sam spoke about that again. One of the things that I like to do if I'm training somebody is I actually hold their shoulders in so that they isolate that muscle again.
Which you find people to do, bring their arms out.
Well, or they'll do this.
Oh yeah, they start
That's
doing
my
their
favourite
kettlebell
one. You know,
kettlebell
the
swing.
man typically on steroids and he's lifting a 30 kilo weight and he's
There's
lifting.
some they can say they lift 30 kilos. I don't want to go home and go, oh, I lifted 15.
It's absolute bullshit. Now this is really tiny, but actually, if I isolate that, you can see my bicep is working. So one of the favourite things I do. So if you want a really good workout to build a bicep, it's called 21. So what you do, you take a small weight like
I
maybe
used to play this.
8 or 10 kilos. So you do 7 reps slowly this way to the mid. After 7, you keep the hand here and then you do 7 this way. And then once you've done 7 that way, you do 7 from the bottom all the way up to the top.
Absolute kills.
You will not be able to finish it when you first do it. And what I like to do, if I ever saw one of these big men lifting the 40 kilos like this, is I'd go, come on, come over here. And if you hold there, stand up, Jack. If you hold there, so do that exercise. So if you come behind them, no, stand straight, and then you push them in there. You see how that feels harder, even with that little bottle. Push their elbows in, so they've got to isolate that bicep.
Yeah, because then they start bringing the shoulder into it otherwise and lifting up like that, and the whole shoulder girdle gets involved.
Yeah.
So instead of isolating one muscle, you've got about bloody 6 involved.
What's that comment?
Hold on.
Be on in.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm on in. I'm not sure what Patricia meant by that.
Okay, Patricia, if you can ask that question again.
I'm on in.
If you join us on YouTube, we're talking about protecting our bodies during the gym and how having a regular appointment with an osteopath is so important, because not only can you just you can do sports massage properly and stuff like that. So talk us through that for a bit, because obviously people go on these 2-day courses, 3-day courses to become a sports massage person. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but you did. I mean, how many years did you study?
So my osteo degree was 5 years. That's because I was part-time. Full-time is 4 years still. And then in year 1, they do give you a sports massage diploma, which then you get the part 2 in year 2, because they do, you get more articulations and things, which isn't common in a sports massage course, as I understand it, because I've never come across any other sports massage therapist that does articulations without doing some sort of osteopathic qualification. So when I did it, we had to learn. Obviously, I know I'm level 7 qualified in anatomy, so my anatomy is very, very strong. We have to know all the origins, insertions of each muscle. The muscle striae has a big impact. So, for example, going down the bicep, you go that way, and that's longitudinal, and then going across is cross fiber. And depending on what direction of the what you're let me start that again. Depending on the direction of where you're massaging the striae, the muscles, depends on what you're trying to achieve. So longitudinal, if you're going longitudinal, you're trying to achieve actually lengthening the muscle. If you're going cross fibre, you're looking to try and actually break down the adhesions. And a cup of tea. So if you're going cross fibre, you're actually trying to break down some adhesions which are in it. So it might be that you might find there's more of a knot in there. And then we've got things like inhibition, which is a more neurological technique, which works on the causes the muscle to actually go up to the brain and say it's not too bad, come back down, and it starts to actually break down the fibres, because we're working on a sensory level rather than just the musculoskeletal level.
Yeah, and I think I asked you a specific question and you've answered it actually without realising you've answered it. You can't learn that in a 3-day sports massage class, can you? Let's be honest, you can't. So what dangers are there? Because look, we see it all the time. People go, I'm going for a sports massage. What dangers are there if you go to someone that isn't as qualified as, say, you? What damage can they do? And
it might even not be that they might not necessarily damage. It might be that you just don't get the benefit you're looking for. The one I do get a lot of is when people go on holiday and they have these massages on the beach, and I do get people coming home saying, I've got a trapped nerve, it started when I had a massage on the beach. I don't know what they're doing on the beach, or that particular massage therapist is doing at the time, but if they're pushing on places which has got a very nerve bundle there, or they don't know how long to hold things for, and if you've got any underlying problems, you can then do damage. If you've got no problems and you're going for a massage just for a maintenance, not a problem. But if you have got underlying issues, they don't understand them, or they're not quite sure
they don't
how
know your history, do they?
Fits into it, then
they don't know your history.
Some do park cues, but others don't, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one of the things that we were talking about in another live is that Sam can actually detail and give you strength and conditioning plans based on your blood type. So we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? And that's another way of minimising injuries at the gym, isn't it? So talk us through that then. So how does that work? What do you do?
How we go through it?
No. So how we can take some blood, or give them to do it at home, and then you can work out what exercise exercise they should be
Oh,
doing
I thought you
because of
meant
their blood.
filter it into osteopathy. That's what's
Yeah, no, but well, no, you're still your service, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically, when you have your blood type is quite a fundamental part of your diet and how your body actually goes takes in food and metabolizes it and stuff. So the same goes for diet and with the exercise as well. The different blood types will depend on how it breaks down, depends on what gets secreted into your body and what comes out. And it can also depend on what foods are good, are more beneficial, and some are actually worse for you. So, for example, type O is the hunter-gatherer, which means you'll be more susceptible to eating proteins, and you're more susceptible to doing a high-intensity program such as HIIT or running or high hiking, sprints, things like that.
So, so going back to that then, so if, like I'm an O, so in the gym I should be concentrating more on short bursts of energy
Yeah.
because of my blood type.
Yeah, because of how your body will break things down.
Versus this, we already spoke in that last one about an A
Yeah.
can't run. So
Yeah, blood type A.
she probably is running.
vegetarian.
She probably is running.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't be running. We've had another question come in. No, this is total baloney. Low carb.
And reduced calorie plus exercise will help you. Yeah, of course it will.
Yeah, Lou, you're right. We're
Absolutely.
not saying it won't.
No, not at all. What we're saying is there's particular ailments and problems which come from we just think they just turn up, don't we? We just think, oh, someone's got fibromyalgia or someone's got heart problem or heart conditions. It turns out that there's a lot of research, and this particular doctor, Dr. James, I can't even remember his name off the top of my head.
Duramo.
Is it Duramo?
Yeah.
Dr. James Duramo, he's written a book, and him and his dad have done loads of research through both their lives, and it's basically what foods are actually better for you. It's more of actually to do with your energy, your sleep. It does help you go back to your optimal weight, because obviously you're cutting out things like chocolate and sugars and everything, but it's that. But no, you are right. I totally agree with you. Low carb and reduced calorie.
We're not saying it isn't. We're
That's how I bloody lose weight.
we're talking about what should be
What's
in
good
that.
for your health.
Yeah, what should be in that low carb diet is certain things for certain people and certain exercise for certain people. So,
Oh, don't worry, S. She'd like a skin consultation.
yes.
It is a skin consultation free.
Yes, they are free.
Yes.
Yeah. So
She come in today. Yes.
Yes.
65 Medical Centre.
okay, so we've spoken about bum, we've spoken about back, we've spoken about hamstrings. What else is common injuries in the gym? I got one for you.
What's that?
I got a brilliant one for you. The girls that use that stupid abductor and
the abductor machine.
yeah, honestly.
For legs. It's, oh my god, I don't know why they do it.
I've seen girls stand on it and doing it like a bloody skiing machine.
Look,
For what is that?
look, I have seen people in intensive care because of that. Yeah,
Because they'd ripped their pelvic floor.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Not their pelvic floor.
That
their...
machine should be banned. It should be banned.
Just bloody use it properly, sit on it.
And men particularly, because again we spoke about men and their what's the word? Their egos will load up those abductor machines and then open it up and pull here, pull through the groin.
I mean, I've been on it before, and I think I added extra onto it, and I could literally feel the sensation of, because where your pelvis sits, which a lot of pregnant ladies will know about this, but your pelvis is like that, and there's a little ligament that just runs through the pubis at the bottom here, and it literally will rip it apart. And I've felt the strain on it before, and that is what you get when you get pelvic inflammatory disease, when pregnancy pulls it apart.
So if you want to work those areas, girls and men, yoga or Pilates, using your own body weight is by far better.
Doing a lovely triangle or
Sorry, one of our nurses isn't very well, and she just looks like she's going to do a bank robbery.
yeah, she's just wrapped her up.
Sorry,
Do you want a hot water bottle?
not very professional.
She's got a tea. She's all right.
Yeah, so that's one that I see a lot of, and it disturbs me.
I can't say I've actually had many come in the clinic. I've actually never had anyone come in the clinic for that, from what I can think of.
Well, no, because I'll be honest with you, the injuries that I've seen from that particular machine end up in A&E.
I've seen a bowel rupture when I worked in the gym. I was there when a bodybuilder ruptured his bowel from overloading into chest press.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, not chest press, bench press. He was bench pressing, and he managed to rupture his bowel. It was all right after, but he did have to go to hospital.
What's your ladder app, Joe?
I do that exercise through my ladder app. I mean, it's
Oh, it's a valid
fine.
exercise. It's a valid exercise.
It's fine to do, but it's when people overload it. I mean, as I say, I think I put about 25 kg on, and I could feel the tension in my pubis, and I thought, I don't feel great. I think it's American. It's fine to do, just don't do it silly.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's not. It should be made illegal or anything like that, but I just say that I think it's loading loads of weight on it is a waste of time. And to be honest, think about the girls that you see that are doing these yoga classes and they're doing it properly, 2 or 3 times a week. They've got that beautiful figure at the lower part of their bodies and their legs are super toned. I just don't think it's worthwhile. It's just not worth the risk. So talking about chest press then, another area that I guess you see a lot of torn muscles through.
Especially through the pecs. I get a lot of, you got the ACJ joint here, the acromioclavicular joint, and that's where the bicep, the long head of the bicep connects to, and also your pecs connect to. And what happens is that gets locked and the shoulder stays rotated forward. So as they're moving, it pinches. And it's constantly pinching them. They start to worry because it's in the chest area. They think, oh, my heart and lungs are there. And you get a lot of panic bumps over that, unfortunately. But yeah, it can cause a lot of problems, especially when I'll do it this side because it's easier to see on there. It rotates forward and it stays in a rotated position. And then it can also start to cause problems into the shoulder as well at the back, and then into the neck as well. So it starts to spread from one thing.
Okay, and you've done such a good job of leading and opening the door for me. Let's now talk about next, because again, our nurse that's also an AKA bank robber might have an opinion on this as well.
She's got a hoodie on, jacket on.
Honestly, come and look at this nurse, look. Honestly.
What about next?
She should be wearing her uniform and that bank robber's uniform together.
At least,
Headaches and necks. So most people think they've got
at least you're not saying you're from Albania.
they think that they've got these headaches and they take all these pills and don't realise actually there's something wrong with their neck, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can fix headaches if they arise from the neck. And you've got some muscles right at the top, just underneath your skull, right there. There's about 6 of them, and they're called the suboccipitals, and they cause a lot of sodium problems. They will pull on the skull, and they cause what we call cervicogenic headaches. Cervico being the cervical spine, which is the neck spine. Genic meaning how they're fundamentally caused, and then headaches. Obviously, it's a headache. So you get a lot of them, but then also you've got the scalenes here, which connect to the back of the ear onto the mastoid process, and they come down here into here. So especially when people do that, and you look like a frill lizard, I can do it. They're my scalenes, and here is also my what's it called? SCM.
SCM.
Sternocleidomastoid. These ones here. But there's lots here, and they all connect onto the first and second rib, which is just underneath the clavicle here. And if they get tight, because we're doing shoulder shrugs and we're doing all sorts of things, and the one that also gets me.
You too, Joe.
Oh, I've got to go the dog's way now. Oh, okay. See you later. The one that gets me, when people are in the mirror and they want to see their side profile, so they're doing the exercise, twisting their neck. That winds me up.
Yeah, because they
want to see what their arse looks like or whatever, but they're twisting their necks they're actually putting so much strain through the one side of your neck, you're really going to do your neck some damage. Even as you're twisting your neck, that's twisting all the way down your back into your erector spinae muscles, which go down either side of your spine. So you could be doing some serious tightening all the way down into the mid back.
Wow, didn't even know about that. Completely different subject, but because Sam brought it up, there's also a really good self-defense there. Just there. So hand on this side of the head and then just push and he'll let go.
That feels lovely, that.
It also releases a bit of tension. It's really horrible, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a main area. So when I work on people scaling, especially when they're tight, they tell me that it feels like it's ripping their ear off because it's there, and then that also joins onto the jaw there as well. So this one back here. So it's an interesting little point.
Sometimes when I get a headache, I feel like I've got like a really tight band here.
Yeah. So
all the way around.
if it comes up here and round to the sides, that is generally from your neck, that presentation.
Oh, is it? It feels like I've got a really tight cap on.
Yeah.
Does anyone else suffer from that? If you do, then let us know.
We could get another one which it's like a fiery line that comes over your head like that, and that's the occipital nerve that's fiery. It's been trapped somewhere, and it's called occipital neuralgia.
Wow, so scary. So if you just joined us on TikTok, we've been live on YouTube. We've got a TV channel in YouTube, so this is why we've been talking about lots of different things other than what we normally talk about on TikTok. So people on YouTube, on TikTok, people know us really well for our aesthetics, so Botox fillers and everything else. But of course, Sam and I do other things other than injections. And
What's she laughing at?
she's watching us online.
He's watching that.
So when
You're like a bloody Jedi Knight sitting there.
she does look funny, doesn't she? She does look funny. So today's session on live was all about how to minimise injuries in the gym, which I think was really useful. We'll tie it up today by just saying that one of the things that we're advocating is that if you are going to the gym more than once a week and you are seriously looking to build muscle and to take it seriously, then you need to build in something like that.
For example, I have got an example. He doesn't go to the gym, but he goes on holiday. So I've got a guy who I treat monthly now, and when he first came to me, he couldn't even stand up straight. He was doubled over. He had dropped his bike to one side, and he tried to stop his bike from dropping a motorbike. So as he twisted his back went. So he came to me. I treated him a couple of times, and he was basically fixed. However, he comes every month to me now, and he comes in. I go, "What's hurting?" He goes, "Nothing. I just want to come and have a treatment." So I just basically go through his back. He's just come back from holiday on, I think, 2 or 3 week holiday, and he came in and he said, "My back's twinging." He said, "I think it's from the cases, it's pulling," and he was slightly out again where the problem was, where I could see that the issue was locked in his lower back. So I said, "It is there." I said, "You are moving." And he said to me, he went, "If I haven't been coming and having any treatments," he said, "I know full well that would have been so much worse."
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you'll still get injuries, but they won't be as bad because your body is in a better stage of health.
I mean, we've spoken and we've demonstrated on TikTok about my knees. So, I mean, let's now talk about knees, because before we go, we haven't spoken about knees, and we should speak about knees. So, this is a bit like a yellow car. So, you probably haven't seen a yellow car over the last few days.
I've not seen a yellow car.
You probably haven't seen a yellow car. Have you seen a yellow car, Jolanda, over the last few days? Anyone seen a yellow car over the last few days? You probably haven't seen them because you're not looking for them. Now I've said it, you'll find these yellow cars.
Okay.
So when we go live later on, if you've been live this morning, you've gone away, tell me how many yellow cars you suddenly see between now and then. What's the point of this? I was going somewhere with this comment. See what I mean?
Is it because you
So because it's in my mindset about knees, all I see is people with straps on their knee. The amount of people walking around the streets with bandages on their knee, maybe the neoprone ones, or just bandages around their knee, mobility, walking sticks. So now I've said it, spend today and just have a look at the amount of people with problems with their knees. Now, the reason why there are so many is because the NHS is way behind on knee replacements, let's be honest. But secondly, because life is just getting tougher. You're standing up more on the train, people are walking,
More people are
overweight,
unfortunately.
all these different reasons. Now, for me, I've been needing a knee replacement for the last 15 years. And Sam worked on my knees every fortnight, didn't you?
Yeah, once a week at one point.
Once a week at one point, yeah. And she used to strip through my knee, and it gave me relief. And I would. Well, you tell the story because you say I used to wobble in, and then
Yeah, he did used to literally wobble in, a bit bandy, and he'd say he's in agony. Getting up in the morning was agony.
yeah, locking at night.
Yeah, locking of an evening, so it would wake him up. It would also, even getting out of the car was a problem as
Oh
well.
yeah, everything problem.
I would do what I would just class as a very simple or general operation and treatment for the knee.
So
Just loosening up around. You can't even see it on there.
you can see on there.
So I'd loosen up all the quads into the going into the quadricep tendon, work on the inside as well into the adductors, work on the IT band, even do a bit on the fibula head and into the calf, and just mobilise the knee in general. So doing that, it just loosened things up. And most of the time, I see people walk back out of the clinic walking better.
Yeah.
Just because we've realigned them in a particular area, and it just makes such a big difference.
What I'm really proud of is that I don't take cocodamol anymore. And in fact, I phoned Sam up over the weekend and said, I've got about 3,000 cocodamols. Do you want any? Because the doctors still send them to me. But the point I'm trying to make is that rather than maybe reaching for a tablet, which is so easily done, there's other ways now that we can solve the problem,
Yeah.
which is like what we're talking about. Now, I know a lot of people maybe couldn't afford to come and see you once a week, but they probably could if they really had to. And I think that's the difference.
It depends on how much pain you're in. I think if you're waking up at night from pain, it starts to take out the equation of how much money you've got as to if you want to, or how much it's worth paying for sometimes. I mean, I see someone once a month. Sometimes I let it slip to 6 weeks just because I forget I'm due a treatment. I can feel my back tightening up. It gets to a stage where, for me, I've got 2 slip discs in my back. I've had carpal tunnel syndrome in my hand. I've had golfer's and tennis elbow in both sides at the same time due to my job. I've got a rotator cuff injury. I've got a ligament strain on my left collateral ligament that just hasn't gone away in about 4 years. I've got loads of problems. I think it's down half to my job and a lot of my training in the past that I've done some things wrong every now and then. But because I get treated and I know when my treatments are due, because I feel that stretching isn't doing enough, it keeps everything at bay.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think didn't one of your patients turn around and say, "Oh, you see an osteopath," as if you're going to do it to yourself. It's like me seeing my nurse to have my Botox done. I'm not going to do it myself.
I know what's wrong, which is irritating.
Yeah.
But I can't treat myself. It's not the same. There's certain parts of me I can do, I can do a bit on my forearm and stuff, which is nice, but it's so much nicer getting someone else to do it.
Absolutely. So now let's lead nicely into how medicine can also help, because we've got some really exciting testimonials to give you now. So we spoke about knees. The biggest problem with knees is arthritis or osteoporosis, or where people have run and lost their cartilage. And everything that we're talking about up to this second has been about managing pain, not solving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
When it comes to wrists, same thing. We can help you. Tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, we can give you eccentric movements to help the pain, but now we can actually get rid of it for good. So let's talk about that in more detail. Nurse, do you want to take your bank robber kit off and come and talk to us?
You hoodlum.
So we'll get the nurse over because these are the two that need to work together on this. I'll come over to the side for a minute.
Bringing a cup of tea.
What's that question there?
My knees are so painful. Oh, that's better. It's not fun, is it?
So, Jolanda, welcome to our live. So you're live on YouTube and you're live on TikTok. So
Thank you for inviting me.
you're more than welcome. So
There's a pack of quality streets at the bottom there. That's how much I keep thinking that the book at the bottom is a pack of quality streets.
up until 2024, both the NHS and us had very little options on how to solve things like arthritis in the wrist, hands, elbows, osteoporosis, or damage, or tendon damage, or whatever. But now, with the science behind PRP and PRF, we're able to actually do it. So, for those who don't know, PRP is platelet-rich plasma and PRF is platelet-rich fibrin. And all of this magic comes from inside you and is injected in. So I'll let Jolanda start talking about what sort of things we can do.
So, as collecting your own blood depends for which reasons would you like to be treated, or which areas. We can put it on the centrifuge, spin it, separate it. If it's PRP, we get white platelets, and if it's for biofiller, we make a filler from it, or if it's just PRP plasma, we inject, depends. If it's cosmetic, we do different procedures like mesotherapy or microneedling, and if it's for the knees,
About knees.
we cook it, we make filler from it, and then we inject it straight on the knee or on the joints where is the problem.
So Sam, talk about what you do in that process then. So you'll isolate where the arthritis is.
Yeah, so obviously I'm not an X-ray, but I can certainly palpate and have a feel of what feels I'd say the worst part. I'll go through a case history with you to discuss where your pain is exactly and what's causing the pain, so we can have an idea of what muscles are being caused mostly at what joint level, and then I'll assess it. I'll do a little bit of treatment just to see if there's anything there that we can work with, and then I'll pass it back over to the nurse to inject the site.
Yeah. Go straight forwards on the knee.
So let's get my knees out. We like the knee out.
Yeah. Oh.
Look at that. So my knee has been done. So you go there.
So normally knee is more bended, and then here it's a squishy bit. As Sam
Squishy bits, the squishy.
Sam finds the area, and me, I will be able to inject it.
Yes,
It goes
right
like
there.
here. Yeah.
So if you'd have seen my knee maybe 6 months ago, it didn't look as brown as this. Look how brown I am. Look how white you are.
Get your knees out, just because you want to get your tan out.
Now, how many fans are there for both?
Crying out loud.
If you've got a knee fetish, this is your life. Almost fell.
Oh,
So my knee was really swollen, wasn't it, Sam?
it
I
was
mean, what,
horrendous.
twice the size of this, do you reckon?
Yeah, it was very spongy.
And you know, I couldn't do this. There was no way I could have sat here like this. Look at this.
Lunging and thrusting.
I'm lunging against the nurse.
God.
There's no way I could have sat or stood like this because I wouldn't have been able to.
And look how you show off now.
I know.
Now I can lunge.
Look,
I can now.
I'm glad he's doing that leg, not that one where it's thrusting in.
I can lunge in a way that I shouldn't be doing on camera to a nurse.
Oh, God.
So that's PRP.
These are the benefits.
Yeah. So look, let's have a look at what's the say, Natta?
Normally, I feel like I have concrete in them. Yeah, so you usually, when you've got that arthritic sort of presentation going on, they generally feel like there's cotton wool in there or something woolly is in there. That it makes it quite difficult to move it. So it's not a nice feeling. It really ain't. It's restricting. And then what happens is when you feel pain in your knees or pain in any sort of joint, the muscles tighten because the nociceptors, which are your pain receptors, they fire up because of the pain. And then because there's pain, the muscles tighten up around the joint, which then puts more strain on the joint, and then it goes in a nice vicious circle. So the joint gives the muscles pain, the muscles tighten up, and there's more restriction that goes on, unfortunately.
So ask her if she's had it identified as.
Have you had it identified, Netta, as arthritis, osteoporosis, strains, sprains, anything at all? Yes. Oh, what is it, can I ask?
Huh?
What's he doing?
A picture about it.
What picture are you doing now?
Oh, a tear and arthritis. Is it a tear of a ligament or a tendon?
I
ACL, usually a culprit. Oh,
Hold tight.
right. I do find there's a lot of ACL tears when with skiing, just by falling generally. I'm very reluctant to go skiing.
somebody
Tear and arthritis. Yeah, so tear they can use things like does Ostanel help tears?
Yeah.
It's a substance that gets injected. Just said a tear in the peony knee. Peony knee. Peony. What does peony sound like?
pain probably.
In pain knee.
Yeah, knee pain.
A large tear in peony knee.
Don't know what peony means.
No, I don't. You should like
No,
ACL,
sometimes you-
PCL.
You write it on.
So, she answered it.
Oh, on knee.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might be the patella tendon if it's on the knee.
On the knee, yeah.
Yeah, because that goes straight down, doesn't it? So it might be the patella tendon.
I just think I think what's magic about this is that we're now discovering that our own blood can solve so many things.
Which is what PRP.
PRP and PRF.
PRF is like, you know, with PRF, the dentists have been using that now for years to grow bone.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you think about it, if a dentist can stick it in your mouth to grow bone, by sticking PRF in your knee.
Well, PRP now doctors are using for people who has diabetes and for a leg, diabetes leg.
Yeah, they have their massive ulcerations.
Yes, it was. I saw in the seminar with
Yeah, the
their
seminar.
meeting together, Sam.
Yeah.
That they grown back.
Yeah.
Was a leg for amputation, unfortunately.
Yes, when they're at the edge for amputation.
And got regenerated so well. It was amazing.
I mean, it was what,
it is
10 weeks
amazing.
worth when they was having PRP
Yeah.
most days or something?
Yeah, is it what's the name?
Ruby.
That PRP was just put it as a serum.
So was it just a serum? They didn't inject it?
Well, in that case, when it's very inflamed,
There's nothing to
they
inject,
couldn't
No.
inject.
And also, we've been using PRP and PRF for burns as well.
Yeah.
Burns, for hair
And
growth,
scars.
Yeah.
for
What are those two questions, Sam?
So, Netta, no worries. You had us quite baffed with the peony. It's just said one. Ruby, she said, my knees are so painful when I am moving around. I feel it gets stuck and I have to pull them.
That's
Yeah.
arthritis.
yeah. And you remember
So,
with
Ruby-
my leg, what happened? My knee goes forward. It's not straight forward on the other side, and you move the muscles
Yeah.
to make it straight, and feels so much better.
Yeah, because your alignment's gone off. Yeah.
So
Ruby,
people have
what you're talking about there is something that I also had as well. So it would lock up at night time. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have to physically move my knee. It was just horrendous. PRP and PRF will deal with that because basically what's happening now, you're just bone on bone probably, and that's what's locking up.
Yeah.
Do you want to show them that
And
with your,
same
show them that with your hands as well?
Nessa, she said the knee gives way sometimes. That might be to do with the tear as well as the arthritis. It's probably a bit of a combined. What do you mean with the?
Just show them that so what her
yeah,
knee looks like. So
this is the top. That's the bottom of the knee. So when it's like that, and then when it gives way, your knee should be doing that. But obviously, when you're doing that and the muscles and the joints are too tight, or there's what's it called?
tear.
Tears, etc., it will just sort of give way like that. But when it's like that as well, your knees they tend to bow. So a lot of people walk around, they've got the knocked knees. I don't know if you can see on there, but it's probably can't see on there. But it's where your knees come in like that. So instead of being like that, they go in, and because of that, the knee joint then rubs on one side rather than the other. So as it's moving, it's doing that as it's bending.
And that's what's causing the pain. So by injecting PRP, we literally come into the gap like this. So you see how the knuckles are? Just like the knee, there's a little hole here that we can go into. So we inject into the knee, and it just separates it, and it regrows all of that tendon.
Rather than grinding.
And the bit that the bit that Jolanda was talking about is we cook the blood, so it creates a gap and a cushion between the two parts of the knee. Superb stuff, and because it's regenerative, it keeps growing.
Yeah, it latches onto the tissue cells, and then that's when it starts to grow off of them, doesn't it?
It's just
It can
fantastic.
take up to about 2 years to actually grow as well, as we've found out, but there's more and more research coming out all the time. So as much as we're telling you, we're also still learning as well. Yeah, bone on bone. That's right. It's horrible when it's like that.
Natty, is it Natty? Nera?
Netta,
Netta.
where are you based?
We're based in West London, so the three of us are in West London at the moment, and we also have a clinic in Brentwood, so in Essex. If you're really struggling to get to us, if you're in our locality, then these two can even come to you. You never know. You never know your luck. Stranger things have happened.
We can be mobile as well sometimes.
Yeah, depending on where they are, obviously. Huh?
Oh, poor lady was about
So that's been a really, really fantastic live. I've really enjoyed today. We've done some really clever stuff today because what we've tried to do is incorporate more holistic things into what we would normally do. As far as those who are waiting for the blood and the gore, that's all coming later on today. So if your if your thing is needles, then you don't worry. We'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
And showing you some needles very soon. So thank you, Sam, for your advice. You got anything to say at the end?
No, just if you've got any questions, then just message us, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing. But we're more than happy to help with any questions you have. We're happy to book you in for treatments if you wanted anything, but obviously it depends where you are as well.
Yeah, so all of our contact details are in our bio. If you are on YouTube, then stay where you are because we're going to reset up for a couple more podcasts. But if you're on TikTok, that's it for now, I think, and then we'll be back on later on. Any last questions before we go? You've got about 30 seconds. Please like us and share us. And those gifts, I still don't quite know what those gifts do, but yeah, send some.
Thank you.
And if there's any gifts on YouTube you can send some of them. Did you know about our YouTube? This is our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're on YouTube then.
Right, so we're going to recalibrate. So those on TikTok, we'll be back live after lunch. It's 10 o'clock now. Clinic is starting in about half an hour. It's 11 o'clock. Oh, we get money, do we? I'll definitely send some then. I never knew that. I never knew that. Okay, well, if we get money, send them. We do work hard, don't we? We've been at this. It might seem like we're just winging it, but honestly, the work that goes into these lives is massive. What was I just saying?
We're going for lunch.
Oh yeah, after lunch. So it's 11 o'clock now. So when the patients have gone, in between lunch, we'll do some do some work, more lives. We're probably going to do some work on faces.
Yes, I have thread lifting today to do it, which is amazing.
Yeah, you've got thread lifts too.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thread lifts. So that'll be an interesting one to show live. We've got some stuff that they can do on me as well. So my hair, you're going to do my hair on PRP. So
I like to inject you.
see that look where she likes to hurt me. Okay, we will be back in a second, YouTubers. And as far as TikTok is concerned now, we'll see you later. Unbelievable, really.
Okay.
That's good.
Four. So, YouTube, take them away.
Thank you for watching, guys.
No, they're staying.
Yeah.
Oh, we are staying.
Yeah, they're staying. TikTok.
I need to go to work.
No, you're gonna do a podcast now, Jolanda.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Because
See you later.
unfortunately, Bina
Bina couldn't make it today.
couldn't make it today. She's not very well.
Wow.
Oh yeah, this viruses are going everywhere. Like,
So what you're gonna have to do, where it says,
best thing is to have now an IV drip, and I'm dreaming for Paul to be free to do
I will do
IV
your IV
for
drip.
me.
Uh,
Have some vitamin C
Okay,
and
you
the
need some-
B12 probably,
Nice bit of nap.
as I really need to be a bit stronger than I am.
What's your
I will
blood
do
type
that
diet
for
looking
you.
like?
Well, I'm a zero negative. I had this,
O negative.
yeah. I had so many questions as I was going through some treatments, and as I know, O negative has a lot of infections, it gets a lot of infections,
Fight
and
cancer
also,
well.
sorry,
You do fight cancer well.
cancer?
You do. I used to fight cancer well.
Okay.
positive, because as soon as I've got it,
And then,
Marvellous. So one day I don't bring that sodding book. We talk about it.
yeah,
Well done.
also for ladies who is hard to get pregnant, or they get pregnant and they lose the pregnancy.
Well, that's what that.
I have been and spoken to a doctor, and here they don't know about it. It's not confirmed about it, but from back home, nurses and doctors speaks about it.
Yeah.
Like they say it. It's not proven, but they say it on the cases of people they have.
The RH negative, the person that came up about I'm RH negative, it came to me, the main thing they talk about with RH negative is to do with not being able to conceive and miscarriages as well. Because of I think it's the compatibility with blood types.
Blood type says a lot, and as long as I have been working here and speaking with people and about blood and vitamins and maybe anemic or whatever is the issue of them, they say we don't know what blood type we are.
No one knows their blood type. Every time you find out your blood type in this country is when you're pregnant, and when if you have gone to the army, I think they find out for you, and if you give blood.
Well,
Otherwise they don't tell you.
what about people who has a driving license? How they don't know?
Oh, they'll just do the test quickly when you're going in for a transfusion.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've had blood tests and they won't do the test for a blood test.
okay.
Wow.
So where it says Paul, that's you.
Paul is me.
So you've got to read what it says to Sam.
Paul I am.
You're Paul,
Or I am
yeah.
Yolanda.
You're Paul. Right, don't mess it up. You're lying. Look, you're lying. So, YouTube, you are so lucky because you're seeing behind the scenes. You're seeing how difficult it is to work with women,
Wow. And you work
especially
with women.
Albanian women.
Oh what? Oh no.
Right. So, Jolanda, get yourself prepared. So I'm going to put the podcast on. Are you ready, Samantha.
Yeah, Zell.
Right, let me just save this one. What was that one called? That was podcast. That's season 01, episode 04. And it's what was it about? This was blood type, wasn't it?
Blood types. Eat
Blood
right for your
types.
blood type.
So that's saved.
Surely we need to find out if that's copyrighted.
What?
Well, if we're making,
Well, we can make money on it.
that's what I mean.
Gave him credit.
Yeah, we've given credit. That's why I wanted to mention his name a few times. But if we're giving him credit and if we're making put it off of that, do we need to?
No.
Do we need to do a copyright?
Right, are you ready? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to practice? Go.
Just. Hello, I'm Yolanda. Welcome to
No,
this.
no.
What I'm Paul?
Just read the words.
Paul. I have to write Paul to say Paul.
No,
No, you don't say Paul. Just read the words where it says "Welcome to." Ready?
Okay. Welcome to the 65 Medical Podcast, your go-to source for the expert advice on maintaining a healthy and active lifestyle. I'm your host, Yolanda, and today you are delivering deeper into a crucial topic.
Slow.
Very well.
You were doing really well.
Very well. Reading English like that.
It's so fast, come on, slow it
Slow
down.
it down. Slow it down a little bit. Right, should we try that then?
Try it again.
Welcome to the 65 Medical Podcast, your go-to source for expert advice on maintaining a healthy and active lifestyle. I'm your host, Yolanda, and today we're delivering deeper in a crucial topic for fitness enthusiasts: how regular osteopathy visits can help gym goers stay injury-free. Joining me is Sam, an experienced osteopath decided to helping individuals achieve their best physical health. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Jolanda. I'm thrilled to be here, sharing insights on how osteopathy can benefit everyone hitting the gym regularly.
Right. You okay with that? You okay with that?
Well, I'm fine. Just I had 2 or 3 words where I hardly
Don't worry about it. Right, YouTubers, this is the best thing about this channel. You get to see it live and raw. I hope. Right, you ready?
So I have to read it again.
Yeah, because I'm going to record it now. That was a test.
Oh my god!
We're doing a podcast,
We're doing a podcast.
so if they can't see us, only YouTube can.
Okay.
Okay, right. 3, 2, hang on. Go.
Oh, it's gone.
Connect to Paul.
Connected. Disconnect.
Hang on. Sorry, hang on.
Oh, now I'm tired saying that.
You should know that by heart now. You should know that bit.
That's
off.
If I skip any words, it's fine.
It's all right, yeah.
Oh,
I'll sort this out in a minute.
if my English teachers see me reading like that.
You read a lot better than I would read Albanian, so don't you worry about it.
Right, you ready, Jolanda?
Ready.
Hang on. Add track. MacBook Air. Ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the 65 Medical Podcast, your go-to source for expert advice on maintaining a healthy and active lifestyle. I'm your host, Yolanda, and today we are delivering deeper into a crucial topic for fitness enthusiasts: how regular osteopathy visits can help gym goers stay injury-free. Joining me is today Sam, an osteopath, experienced, dedicated to helping individuals achieve their best physical health. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Jolanda. Yes, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm happy to share insights on how osteopathy can benefit everyone who hits the gym. that is regularly at least. Even people that don't hit it regularly, I can also help with.
Let's start with the basics, Sam. For our listeners who might not be familiar, could you explain what osteopathy is and how it stands for other therapists?
Sure, absolutely, Jolanda. So, osteopathy is a more holistic approach to healthcare. It focuses on the musculoskeletal system. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of the body's systems and aims to enhance the body's natural ability to heal itself. Unlike therapies that may only treat symptoms, osteopathy does look at the underlying causes of pain or dysfunction, what exacerbates it, what restores it, and balance and function through the manual techniques like stretching, massage, and joint manipulation.
That holistic approach sounds beneficial. How exactly can monthly osteopathy visits aid gym goers in maintaining an injury-free routine?
So monthly osteopathic sessions can serve as a preventative measure. They help identify the correct imbalances before they develop into injuries. This proactive approach means the potential issues are addressed early, keeping gym goers performing at their best. Osteopathy also aids in improving recovery, increasing flexibility, and optimizing body mechanics, which is crucial for the effective and safe workouts.
That makes a lot of sense. Could you share some common gym-related injury and how osteopathy helps address them, Sam?
Sure, certainly. So, common injuries include strains, sprains, tendonitis, and lower back pain, often due to overuse, improper form, or inadequate recovery. Osteopathy can address these by realigning the body, reducing tension, and improving joint function. We also focus on educating clients on proper techniques and posture to prevent re injury.
It seems prevention, is it really at the heart of osteopathy? Let's delve into the science a bit. Can you explain the physical benefits of osteopathy for our listeners?
Yeah, sure. So osteopathy works by improving blood circulation, enhancing the lymphatic drainage, and reducing inflammation. By ensuring the muscles and joints are functioning optimally, we can enhance overall body efficiency. This not only helps in preventing injuries, but also boosts energy levels and performance, which is vital for gym enthusiasts.
Fascinating. Do you have any success stories or cases where osteopathy has made significant difference in a gym goer's life?
Absolutely. So I had one gym goer who was struggling with chronic shoulder pain that hindered his workouts for osteopathy. We discovered a misalignment in his shoulder joint. After a few sessions, his pain was significantly reduced, and he was able to return to his routine stronger than before. His stories like these that highlight the transformative power of osteopathy. Yeah.
That's inspiring to her. Now let's shift gears a bit and tackle some misconceptions. Are there any myths about osteopathy you like to
Debunk. Debunk.
debunk?
Definitely. So one common myth is that osteopathy is only for people with back pain. In reality, it can benefit anyone from athletes to office workers. Another misconception is that it's painful. Most treatments are gentle, tailored to the individual's comfort. However, I will add that if you are in pain, it probably will be painful. If you're having a maintenance, it shouldn't be painful.
It's great to clear that up. Let's engage our listeners a bit. We received some questions from our audience. Here, one, Sam. Can osteopathy help with post-workout recovery?
Yeah, sure, of course it can. So, osteopathy can enhance recovery by reducing muscle stiffness, improve circulation, and helping out flush out toxins. These benefits can lead to a quicker recovery times and reduce muscle soreness after intense workouts.
Excellent. We covered a lot today, but before we warm up, can you offer some practical
That's not this one.
practical advice for listeners? This is
Into their routine.
Sorry, guys. Start with an initial assessment to understand.
Understand what?
The problem was I won't actually listen to the question because this one's loud.
I saw it like that.
I'll break it off. I'll break it off. No, it's wrap up.
Wrap up.
Sorry,
It's like to warm up. It's to wrap up. Before we wrap up, and you're like, before we warm up.
Well, let's just cut that bit out. So, if you're on YouTube, I'm sure you're enjoying this. Did we get any more of those things that you saw, Sam?
What?
No, I'm not seeing another thumbs up. We have no idea who's listening.
Go with that then.
Is that about us?
Start with an initial assessment. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Start with
Oh, hang on. Go.
So start with an initial assessment to understand the body's needs and any existing issues. Communicate openly with your osteopath about your fitness goals. Consistency is key, so try to make regular visits as part of your routine. Also complement osteopathy with balanced nutrition and a well-rounded exercise program for optimal results.
Fantastic advice, Sam. It's clear that
Incorporating. It's an outtake though. It's a good one.
Osteopathic and rule.
Right, she's gone. Thank you, Sam.
All that long words.
Sam, go.
So just to reiterate, that investing in your health is invaluable. So osteopathy offers a proactive approach to ensuring long-term fitness and well-being. Thanks to having me, Jolanda and Paul. And Jolanda will thank me for my expertise.
Thank you very much.
I'll tidy that up before it goes live. I'm sure people on YouTube had a good old laugh with that.
Oh,
Don't bring up funny.
I'll be honest though, she did really well.
She done very well.
An awful lot of long questions there.
and there's an awful lot of
Seriously, all that work you found to give me.
No,
You've done very well. But you got the giggles. And it probably makes no sense to anyone sitting listening to that.
oh no, it's alright.
Hopefully your laugh's just infectious. I feel like I'm on Big Brother. I feel like I'm on Big Brother. No swearing, you're on live TV.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're on the internet. We're on YouTube. It's YouTube Live.
YouTube's live. That's like
That's
a
what
TV
that
channel.
is. So you got no idea who's watching you. Could be no one.
Could be everyone.
Could be a lot of people.
Everyone.
Could be
Right. So Sam, we'll do the next
Mass
one.
murderer.
you together. Yeah. Family just don't make mess.
That was quite hilarious. That's what Sam wanted. That's what everyone wanted.
I wrote the seal now.
Talking Albanian, so
You do Albanian podcast.
You should make that an Albanian podcast.
I said, we're
so
sorry. We
basically,
just got Jolanda to do a podcast, and of course some of the words she got wrong. So at the end, instead of saying so to wrap up, she went so to warm up.
I was ringing you, ringing you back from the weekend because I know you rang me. Sorry, I was really, really busy.
Yeah.
Two, that John guy from Birmingham is coming in today.
Izzy, what time?
I think it's about 12:30.
Perfect.
TikTok content. He's also coming in at 4 o'clock today.
Perfect. It's all booked in, is it?
Yeah, all booked in. Yeah, she's asked what she wants from us, and I said a reel that we could put on TikTok, Instagram, a live, and some before and afters.
And she's all right with that, is she?
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So she's
Perfect.
4 o'clock today.
Oh, okay. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Jolanda can do that. That'd be fantastic. I'll do the filming. That's really good.
Yeah.
But I will not be talking.
Live, by the way.
You watched the live. They went all right, weren't they?
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
So that blood type diet, we're going to start pushing it. I need to have a quick word with Sam though, because I think Sam thought we were selling the fucking book.
No, I know we weren't selling the book,
No,
but I
because
just
we kept mentioning it.
because I'm thinking of copyright. I'm thinking, I
Then
would
look
sell
at
it
us
to
where they
her.
get the fucking book from. You did a good job of sending it for it. Did you get that impression then? A little bit, yeah.
Sorry.
So we'll try that again later on. Yeah.
But you also asked me if we tried it out. I'm thinking, I fucking ain't.
He's got to lie.